4:38. All right, we're getting new information that gives fans more clarity on why the Spurs would part with their best player and not build around All-Star DeJounte Murray for the future. That's because the star point guard and his agent, Rich Paul, let it be known he was not going to extend his contract with our Spurs. That's according to Brian Windhorst of ESPN. If you believe that report, that's why the team had to make the trade now. Murray was going to be up for a max deal in 2 years that would pay him in the neighborhood of $40 million a year. But if he and his agent had no sign of re-signing, then the Spurs did the only thing they could do, get the most they could for him right now. And another new development for the Spurs, Lonnie Walker IV has played his last game as a Spur. That's after the Spurs rescinded their qualifying offer of just over $6 million they exercised just before the deadline. As a result, Walker is free to sign with any team. He's going from restricted free agent to unrestricted.
I think the way the draft played out kind of changed the trajectory of our roster and made the opportunities a little bit different than maybe they would have been had the draft gone a different way. And so we did decide to pull the qualifying offer, but again, he's going to be a player that continues to grow, and we're excited to follow his development wherever that lands.
This one's also a tough loss for Spurs fans after Lonnie endeared himself by getting involved in our community on his own, but he landed on his feet. He has signed a 1-year, $6.5 million deal with the LA Lakers. We know Spurs fans are upset, but what about the young guns that now have to take over? The longest tenured player on our team now is Jakob Poeltl, who's just starting his 5th season with the Silver and Black. That's coming to San Antonio in that trade for Kawhi Leonard with Toronto back in 2018. So we visited the Spurs Summer League minicamp to find out.
Obviously, things that happened yesterday and things that could happen in the future out of our control. That's for the front office to take care of, but we just control what we can control and focus on getting better each and every day, and just try to take advantage of those opportunities when they're there.
Let's talk baseball for a sec. San Antonio Mission is taking on the Midland Rockhounds once again last night. Coming off a loss on the first night of the series, Mission's offense was finally able to get it going last night. He managed to come up with 3 runs on 11 hits. So the Missions end their brief losing streak with a 3-2 victory and in the month of June with a win.
And time now, 4:41 and 76 degrees for now. A new month means new deals, and up next, how you can save during the month of July and where to look for those Independence Day deals.
And next, how to host that July 4th barbecue without breaking the bank.
And welcome back. It's 4:43. The cost of the average 4th of July barbecue is up 17% this year as food prices remain high. But there are ways to save. ABC's Becky Worley has the details in today's GMA First Look.
Morning's GMA First Look, how to host that July 4th barbecue without breaking the bank. But that's not deterring sisters Anitra and Raquel Lowe, who live outside Pittsburgh. They say their big 4th of July bash is the party to be at.
I have a head count of 45. It's pretty big this year.
New data shows ground beef prices soaring 36%, pork and beans up 33%, and even homemade potato salad up 19%.
Even though the grocery store prices have gone up, and they really have, you don't have to pay the price.
And just because it's a barbecue doesn't mean you have to overdo it on meat. Like this tip from our patriotic partiers.
A veggie shish kebab, maybe?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And coming up at 7 a.m., from travel to sales to fireworks, GMA has your July 4th weekend covered. With your First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
4th of July sales already kicking in, and later this month, Amazon has its Prime Day, which gets other retailers in the price slashing act.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris has a look at what to buy in July.
As we head into the Independence Day weekend, there are some star-spangled sales.
We see a ton of deals around mattresses especially, as well as large appliances.
Consumer Reports tracks prices on its top tested products all year. Here's what's discounted in July. The Ghost Bed Memory Foam Mattress. The queen size is now on sale for $977 at Ghost Bed. That's about $400 off. Now those appliances. This LG refrigerator is one of the best French door fridges CR tested this year. It's now priced at about $3,100 at the Home Depot, $700 off. And this LG washing machine is a CR Best Buy. It's on sale for $599 at Best Buy, the Home Depot, and LG. Mark your calendar for July 12th and 13th. It's prime time.
In the middle of July, we have Amazon Prime Day. It's one of the best times to shop of the year. You'll see deals comparable to Black Friday, and not just at Amazon. Other major retailers will have sales as well.
It's not even July and Amazon has already launched its early Prime deals. It's mostly smart home devices and other technology. And one more sizzler of a sale. This Kamado Joe Classic 2 is marked down by nearly $400, on sale for about $900 at Amazon and Walmart, just in time for those holiday hot dogs. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, I just saw the camera. Let's see if it's popping up here on the rotator. And Mike has just pulled it up. Thank you very much, Mike. We've got construction southbound at I-35 at FM 306. If you're not familiar with that, that's just north of New Braunfels, coming into New Braunfels and San Antonio.
One lane still open, though.
All right, Mike is here with what we know is going to be a very hot July 4th weekend forecast.
Yep, finished off the month of June. Every single day except one, back on Tuesday when we got the rain, was above its respective normal high temperature.
Oh, I thought you were going to say every single day, but one was above 100.
No.
It seemed like it.
Yeah, it seemed, I mean, you know, think about how many days we had 98, 99. So,
Sure.
yeah, you step outside, it felt like it. But the 17 is the count of just in the month of June. So we're going to continue to rack some up. 22 so far this year. Nice picture up there in College Station. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect shot. And we've got partly cloudy skies right now. A couple more hanging around here than what we've had the past couple of days. The humidity, you know, I was talking about dew points, the measure moisture in the atmosphere, and that's how you figure out relative humidity. Well, these numbers are up 2, 3, 5 degrees there in Uvalde compared to this time yesterday. And look at how much more humidity even up around Fredericksburg. Dew points are that much higher. So, yeah, it is noticeably more humid when you step outside this morning. Temperatures, we will drop down right around to 75 degrees, and we'll have a couple of clouds hanging around here. And then, obviously, warm up quite quickly. Already up in the mid to upper 80s and 90 by noon. Wind is going to be out of the southeast. And, yeah, once again, 10, 20% chance for a stray shower, thunderstorm. Most of us won't see any rain. 98 for a high temperature then later on today. All right, here's the computer model. And again, nothing going on this morning. A lot more clouds off to the east of us. That's where that disturbance, obviously the one from the Gulf of Mexico, moved in just far enough away to really not do us that much good. Couple little spots here and there just because of sort of a weakness in the atmosphere. You know, if you get some rain, fantastic. It's not going to be really amounting to much of anything. Then we go into tomorrow. And about the same situation. Just a couple of those spots are going to be popping up here and there in the afternoon tomorrow. Now, as far as the satellite picture, we did have a couple, and the radar, a couple of those showers yesterday off to the west. So, okay, a couple of folks got some of these showers. Here's another view of the low coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. And again, a lot of rain around Houston, but for us, not that much. Elsewhere in the tropics, still looking at this area down here in the Western Caribbean. Weather, it probably, Hurricane Center still thinks it's going to become strong enough to be an actual tropical storm, which would be Tropical Storm Bonnie, but that's just going to continue to work its way straight off to the west. If indeed it does, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a big rain producer down there in Central America. Now, as far as we are concerned, it just stays really, really hot. 88 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. We are going to be right up to where we were yesterday. We're going to be up in the mid to upper 90s later on, and then a high temperature tomorrow, 97 degrees, 99 on Sunday, and 100s then Monday, Tuesday, all the way through most all of next week. A stray shower or two today and tomorrow. Maybe one or two of them early Sunday morning. A little disturbance out there in the mountains of Mexico may try and sneak across the Rio Grande and pop up a couple of showers out to the west early Sunday morning. Other than that, yeah, it's going to be blazing hot. So,
well, how about them apples?
Yes.
And that apple pie.
We knew that break was going to be short.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about food this weekend. You know, normal July 4th stuff. Barbecue, hot dogs,
barbecue,
all that.
Well,
all
definitely
that stuff.
ice cream for dessert, something cool.
All that stuff. Yep.
Big tub of it and sit in it. So.
Right.
Sit in the ice cream. Wow, that is you're going to pay a fortune the way prices are right now, Mike.
That's true.
At 4:50, about 76 degrees.
And coming up next, a first look at the final 2 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4, plus the Minions return to the box office.
Here are your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 560, Fireball 6, Daily 4, 1030, Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 14, 15, 17, 23, 32. And Texas 2-step, 6, 15, 22, 30. Bonus ball 14.
The Minions are back at the box office this weekend. Of course, a lot of folks are ready for the final 2 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Minions expected to dominate the box office this weekend. Minions: The Rise of Gru once again stars the voice of Steve Carell, playing a preteen villain in the making. And he says his unique voice and accent, a lot of that had to do with his kids.
I was playing with different voices before we started the very first one, and the voice that I actually ended up using was the one that made them laugh.
New streaming, Chris Pratt is a Navy SEAL dealing with a lot of problems in Prime Video's The Terminal List. His unit killed, his family threatened, and he's not sure who he can trust. And Pratt tells me we've seen him do drama before, but not quite like this.
It was intense. It's a surprise. Hopefully it'll be unlike anything anyone has ever seen me do, and that was a big motivating factor. I want to continue to grow and learn as an actor.
I'm afraid your friends at Hawkins are very much in the eye of the storm.
Also new streaming this weekend, the final 2 episodes of Season 4 of Stranger Things. And set aside some time. One is an hour and a half, the finale almost 2.5 hours. And happy birthday to Pamela Anderson. The actress and model is 55 today.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
While 4-time Grammy-winning rapper Missy Elliott is 51. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And time now is 4:55 and 76 degrees for now.
Still ahead on GMSA as the Supreme Court wraps up another eventful week. President Biden is blasting the High Court from overseas.
Plus, Google makes some big updates to its password manager. Details coming up in Tech Bites.
And here's that incident regarding some construction, I believe, at 35 and FN 306, just north of New Braunfels. Stephen let us know about it via message earlier, and now he is in studio with a live update that is coming up at the top of the hour. We will be right back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
The U.S. Supreme Court wraps up its term after some controversial and consequential opinions. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington with a review of this term and what lies ahead coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we are starting humid in the 70s, but we are expecting triple digits starting the 4th.
And good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is July 1st, and Mike Osterhage is in a patriotic mood.
Yeah.
What were you just whistling during the break? Was that the 1812 overture?
Yeah, it's appropriate.
If you sing more than that, though, we got to pay the music rights.
Isn't that one of those that's now just
in the public domain?
Public domain.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think so.
Yeah.
That and the American flag cufflinks too.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice.
Because we are getting ready for the 4th of July, and of course it is going to be a sizzler this 4th of July. We're going to have temperatures, and as we dodge little rockets red glare out there, 100 on Monday. It is going to be blazing hot. So after finishing up extremely hot month of June, you know, a little bit of a reprieve the last couple of days. Tuesday, of course, we stayed below normal for the first time in forever. But yeah, it's just going to be getting up close to there goes those rockets again, getting up close to 100 degrees again on Monday. As of right now, when you step outside, we do have temperatures that are in the mid-upper 70s. Look at the bottom number, 72 degrees. That means it's the dew point, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. That's how you figure out that top number. And that bottom number has actually gone up compared to yesterday. We are going to be up to 98 again. We hit it yesterday again. 1 or 2 of those showers, thunderstorms out there. you count them on one hand, basically. The aquifer did go up a half a foot. Of course, check with your local municipality to see what any water restrictions are. Mold also really shot up. Yesterday's reading almost doubled the previous day with the moisture in the ground. And as the ground continues to dry out, we are going to be seeing that helps, or allows, I should say, temperatures to start to go up. So warm and humid this morning, and then just a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms out there. Like I said, 98 for a high temperature. Tomorrow, a few extra clouds may shave a degree or two off the temperatures. Still a storm or two, and then after that, yep, sizzling. Triple digits return. 4th, 5th, 6th, keep counting all next week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Morning, sir. What's going on?
Good morning, Mike. You know what I was going to say? Well, those fireworks were amazing, but you're a firework yourself, so yeah, always bring it. It's not a pain with a compliment. Get the day started early. All right, we've been talking about this for a little while now. I-35 at FM 306. Let's get a wider look from TransGuide. We are seeing at least 3 lanes of traffic that are closed at this time. 1 lane getting by. This is some pavement work that is actually taking place, but it's actually also taking a lot longer to wrap up. Crews were supposed to be done around 5 this morning, but you know they've been lingering around for a little while. But give them some time and give yourself plenty of time because we are already starting to see that buildup. We're just going to go ahead and start here. It's a smidge north of New Braunfels, as Mark was mentioning. That is that pavement work that has the 3 lanes closed in the southbound lanes of FM 35 at FM 306 to Guadalupe River. So you can expect and see that slow down. Traffic not moving too fast, about 28 miles per hour at this point. So if your travels are going to take you right into San Antonio from 35 in New Braunfels, we're really not seeing a major slowdown, at least just yet. 25 minutes at this hour in those southbound lanes. A little bit more of a slowdown on 281 coming in from Bulverde in the southbound lanes, and 25 on I-10 if you're traveling onto the eastbound lanes from Bernie. So no worries there, but we're going to have to watch this closely and hopefully have a better update in the next few minutes. Also have those phones handy. We're going to be talking extra construction taking place throughout the month of July. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. Mark, stuff.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, 1 person is dead following a crash on the city's southeast side overnight.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live. And Jonathan, what do you know so far?
Stephanie, this is an unfortunate situation involving 2 drivers. Unfortunately, one of them is dead this morning, the other walking away from this crash with no injuries. But let's take a look at what that scene looked like. This scene happening close to 10:30 last night on Southeast Loop 410 and New Sulphur Road Springs. Now, police tell us 2 vehicles clipped each other, sending both of them off the highway. The vehicles involved a car and an SUV. That SUV rolling down the hill. Firefighters attempted to rescue the driver and were able to pull him out, but unfortunately he was pronounced dead by EMS on scene. Now, Traffic Investigation Division is working this case, trying to determine if any of the drivers were, or one of the drivers was at fault. As of right now, we are learning no charges are pending. And again, the driver of the car did make it out with no injuries. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
A 15-year-old boy's life cut short. Tuesday evening, Manuel Ramos was shot and left for dead just around the corner from his home. And this morning, the person or people responsible still haven't been caught. The shooting happened on Gus Garcia Road. That's not far from the Alazan Court public housing apartments. According to police, witnesses say Ramos was talking to someone in a car. Then moments later, a gunshot was heard. When police got there, they found Ramos on the ground. At the site of the shooting, there is now a growing memorial for the teen.
I'm 15 years old, had his whole life ahead of him, and now we're planning his funeral. We'll never get to see him graduate, become a man. These streets ain't no joke.
Ramos' family is asking anyone with information to come forward.
It was standing room only last night in San Fernando Cathedral for those mourning the 53 lives lost inside that enclosed tractor trailer earlier this week. Those in attendance say they were heartbroken by the news and that each person in the truck deserves to be remembered. Some prayed for reform, including Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra, who called on local leaders to take action.
Include our leaders of our states and country to work for a comprehensive immigration reform. That in over 40 years, nothing substantial has been done. It is urgent, and we pray that in God's mercy something will happen.
The Archbishop says he has not seen any immigration reform since he became a faith leader back in 1980. This week, U.S. Supreme Court's historic term comes to an end, but not before the justices handed down two more significant decisions on immigration and climate change.
The court also said goodbye to one justice and welcomed its newest member to the bench. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with more.
A beaming Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson taking the mantle from her retiring mentor, Justice Stephen Breyer, becoming the first black woman on the nation's highest court.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear.
The historic moment capping a divisive and consequential term for the Supreme Court after the conservative majority handed gun control advocates a stunning defeat by expanding the right to carry a firearm in public and then overturning federal abortion rights.
I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that.
Right now, congressional Democrats do not have the support to suspend the 60-vote requirement to make that happen. As outrage grows over the court's decision, two more controversial rulings Thursday. The justices rubber-stamping the Biden administration's move to end the Trump-era border policy, which forced asylum seekers at the southern border to wait in Mexico while their cases are pending. But the court also dealing a major blow to the Biden administration before wrapping up its term. The majority cutting the EPA's ability to aggressively fight climate change and deferring to Congress to define the agency's authority to regulate emissions from power plants.
The decision does constrain what we do, but let me be clear, it doesn't take us out of the game. We still will be able to regulate climate pollution.
Amid the fallout this morning, concern about what the court's decision to take up a redistricting case this fall could mean for elections in this country. A ruling in favor of the plaintiffs could give Republican-controlled legislatures the power to rewrite laws to decide which political candidate gets the most electoral votes in their state.
And the court's opinion in that case would come just before the next presidential election and even allow state legislators to pick their own electors, which some Trump allies tried to do after he lost the 2020 election. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Friday morning time check, 5:08, 76 degrees.
And still ahead in Tech Bites, the FCC has authorized Spacex to provide its Starlink internet services to vehicles in motion.
And what's next for Councilman and Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo after he did not show up to this week's council meeting?
And taking a look outside with live cam, we are preparing for the heat, but for now, we're at 76 degrees. We'll be right back.
Just about 5:12 now to the latest out of Uvalde. Councilman Pete Arredondo did not show up to this week's city council meeting.
If he misses the next meeting, he could be voted out. And his performance as the police chief for the school district during last month's mass shooting has drawn scrutiny. The council members that did show up faced questions from the victims' family members, and many were frustrated with the lack of information since this investigation began more than a month ago. And the city council and Mayor Don McLaughlin insist they cannot release information because it would interfere with the investigation. Anne-Marie Jo Garza is one of the 21 people killed that day. Her father expressed his emotion as he faced the council.
What if it was your kid? You what? You can't say nothing.
I can't.
Nobody
You're right.
can.
You're right. I
We
can't.
understand that. So do your part for us.
The building where the shooting took place is still part of the investigation. The district plans to demolish Robb Elementary, but still waiting on a demolition permit. Uvalde CISD confirmed the new school would be in a different location. However, it is still looking for that location while it raises money for the building.
5:13, 76 degrees.
And still ahead, what you need to know about Google's major update to its password manager.
Plus details on a new social media app for Pokemon Go players.
I guess that's it then, huh? Yep. See you around. I knew that was the last time I'd see Tom. The truth is, I was spending too much online, Jake from State Farm.
Don't give up what you love. State Farm has options like bundling home and auto so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Tom, I'm gonna buy more stuff!
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Keep life zesty with Zantac 360 Degrees. Heartburn can't stop this party because Zantac 360's triple action prevents, relieves, and lasts, working in as little as 15 minutes. Keep life zesty with Zantac 360.
Most bladder leak pads were similar, until Always Discreet invented a pad that protects differently with 2 rapid dry layers. For strong protection that's always discreet. Question your protection. Try Always Discreet.
Welcome back. 5:16. SpaceX has been given permission to provide its Startling satellite internet service to vehicles in motion. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, an important step for SpaceX. The FCC says the company can provide its Starlink internet service to moving vehicles. The move paves the way for a new set of users. To get the service, customers will have to buy a ground-based antenna or use terminals. Google is out with a major update to its password manager. It includes a single password setting page for its Chrome browser, allowing users to sync and save passwords with Android devices. The new feature will notify users if passwords are weak or if they are compromised. And finally, the maker of Pokemon Go is rolling out its own social augmented reality app. Players using Campfire will get to chat, DM friends, and organize raids. Campfire also has a map that includes information about nearby in-game events and activities. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It's now 5:17.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos about that construction along I-35.
Yeah, we don't have a better update out here. Unfortunately, 35 at FM 306, we continue to see crews out there. This is some paving work that started overnight, and we are still seeing some lanes that are impacted there as we give you a closer look from TransGuide. 3 lanes are impacted at this time, and we'll bring you right to the map because you have a lot of red that we're seeing in those southbound lanes. This is, again, at FM 306 to Guadalupe River. 3 lanes still closed, and we're still seeing traffic that is continuing to experience some trouble there, 16 miles per hour. Here's what I would suggest. Exit Watson Lane if you're traveling on 35 south, and then you'll continue a little bit further till you hit FM 1101. Then continue on FM 1101 till you hit 35. It may take you a little bit longer, but if you're trying to avoid all those flashing lights, that's probably the best route I would suggest to use. Now, as we get a wide look at the map, just a lot of those active construction spots, and it's a new month, so we want to already start looking ahead to what's going to be taking place. Bridge work. Now, we know that there's a lot of work that's taking place over along 281 on the north side of San Antonio. I hear it from David Sears all the time. Monday, July 11th, this is what you can expect. 8 in the evening to 8 in the morning, a full closure of the Overlook Parkway intersection. But of course, this information is on our website. Grab those phones, open your camera app, and scan this QR code. That's going to take you directly there. And of course, you know the drill. That has the latest closures that are taking place in your area. Just remember to scroll to the bottom of the screen, and anything else that is impacting your drive time will be posted on that page as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. A nice picture there.
Yeah, that's a really cool picture there. Playing volleyball. If you're going to be outside, of course, yeah, just take it and make sure, you know, gotta say it, lots and lots of water. Hydrate before you even get out there, but have fun. That's a great picture. Thank you very much, Nella, for the KSAT Connect shot. We do have a few clouds hanging around here this morning, and temperatures are a little bit above normal. The normal low right now is 74, normal high is 94, and we may drop a couple of notches here and there. 73 right now, Rio Medina, 79 Castroville, and 78 up the road in Canyon Lake. These numbers are also up slightly, dew points, the measure moisture in the atmosphere compared to yesterday in the past couple of days. So, yeah, even Stinson had a dew point of 75 degrees. That is just steam bath, tropics, wet towel, however you want to describe it when you step outside. So it feels like 79 right now at Pleasanton. 82 is the heat index in Castroville. Here's the water vapor imagery, and we do have a little bit of moisture upstairs in the atmosphere, so maybe a slight milky shade to the sky. And then there's all that heavier moisture off to the east of us, and that's associated with that low coming in there out of the Gulf of Mexico. I think we'll drop down a couple of more degrees this morning, bottom out at 75, almost down to a normal low temperature. Make it up through the 80s throughout the rest of the morning, then 90 at noon. And we're going to be topping off at 98 degrees. Same thing as yesterday, and same thing as yesterday as far as the 10-20% chance, 1 or 2 of those stray showers trying to pop up here or there. Just a couple of them. That's pretty much going to be about it. So here's the longer range computer model. And of course, it's got the heavier rain off to the east of us. And then, you know, again, 1 or 2 showers trying to pop up here or there. count them on one hand. And about the same situation tomorrow. We will have a couple of showers, mainly off to the east, and then a few of them even in the evening hours. We're going to have to sort of keep an eye on this disturbance out here coming across the mountains of Mexico. And early Sunday morning, there may be a few leftover showers, even a thunderstorm, especially in the hill country. And then that's going to sort of fizzle on out. And after that, that's it as far as any rain chances. So here's the low, which, yeah, close, but unfortunately not close enough to us. Stayed well off there to the east of us, and that high is kind of dominating things. Now, as time rolls on, that one's going to sort of fizzle on out, and the Bermuda High, which is what this is usually called in the summertime, because it's associated with the island of Bermuda out there, but that's really going to start to build on in here, and it just takes over the southern half of the country. And this is not really a good picture to have. This is the same thing that we've had throughout most of the month of June, with that high sitting almost right on top of us. The only little bit of hope would be in the fact that if this is further off to the west, we might get a bit more of a northwesterly flow coming in here. So a lot of times there's little disturbances that like to ride down that northwesterly flow, but that's just wishful thinking as of right now, because as of right now, once we get past the 1 or 2 showers today, 1 or 2 tomorrow, early Sunday, that's it as far as rain's concerned. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies, and a high temperature all the way up to 98 degrees. 1 or 2 of those showers or a storm. Most of us aren't going to be getting any rain. Same thing tomorrow. Perhaps something early Sunday, 99 on Sunday, and yep, triple digits. We are going to be smoking hot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if your grill is smoking and you want to, have a sample anything, please bring it by. So
yeah, I highly recommend post oak. That's probably one of the best overall woods for smoking. Okay. Yeah, post oak.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's abundant, of course, in our part of Texas.
Because a lot of people like to do, mesquite.
And some say it overpowers the meat, the flavor profile when it comes to smoking meats like brisket. Spend a lot of money on brisket. You want to do something kind of as gentle when it comes to smoke.
Interesting.
Yeah, there you go. 5:23, my smoking tips for the day.
I was going to say, you took that class, didn't you?
I did. I've taken a couple of them now.
And never brought us anything.
No, it's still in the works.
Yes.
It's still in the works. I just didn't want to have to make a car payment to buy brisket for you guys. You know what I mean? 5:23, about 77 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, the director of Mr. Malcolm's List talks about the film's challenges.
Here are your lottery numbers. Pick 3, 560, Fireball 6, Daily 4, 1030, Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 14, 15, 17, 23, 32, and Texas 2-Step 6, 15, 22, 30, bonus ball 14.
Whether you're looking for something new on the big or small screen, there is something for everyone this weekend.
CNN's David Daniel has you covered in today's Hollywood Minute.
He was very impressed by her wit and humor.
I must be nearsighted.
May I assist?
Sparks fly between Frida Pinto and Shape Dirisu in Mr. Malcolm's List. The Regency rom-com is the feature film debut of director Emma Holly Jones, who says she faced at least 2 significant challenges.
I mean, it's been a 7-year process for me and the producers. And, and the second biggest challenge was we shot this on an indie budget in 27 days in level 5 lockdown in Dublin.
Well, the course of true love never did run smooth. Mr. Malcolm's List is in theaters this weekend.
3, 2, 1, go!
Rob Corddry is hitting the gas on season 2 of Top Gear America. He calls the show one of the most fun experiences of his career, as well as an education.
Almost every single episode that I can think of, somebody's crashing into somebody else. Now, that was a new experience for me, like doing it for fun.
It's terrifying.
Top Gear America Season 2 premieres today on Motor Trend Plus. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Friday morning, 5:27, 77 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, there's some good news for people driving this holiday weekend. However, those who are flying could face a little trouble.
Or a lot of trouble. Plus, why you may have to pay a little more to put on your fireworks show this year.
And Disney reportedly developing a unique kind of Star Wars themed drink on its cruises. But you'll need a lot of Republic credits to try one. We'll explain.
Making headlines this morning, travel experts are giving a positive forecast for people driving to 4th of July celebrations this weekend, but that's only on the roads.
Right, and speaking of the 4th of July, we are told it's going to be a hot one. For now, we are at 77 degrees.
Friday, July 1st, good morning to you.
Happy July, happy Friday, more so, right? And then it's going to be a long extended weekend for some people, but just prepare for that heat.
How close to normal are we going to be this weekend, Mike, temperature-wise?
How close to normal?
Yes, sir.
3-4 degrees.
Still above normal.
Yeah, still above
Trend
normal.
continues.
So, yeah, every day last month, except for one, we were above the respective normal. Normal height is now 94 degrees. We hit 98 yesterday. We're going to be hitting 98 again today, and we're starting off this morning at 77. The normal average low temperature is 74. Dew point is at 72 degrees. I know there's a lot of numbers thrown at you, but that's the one that makes a lot of difference right now because that's actually gone up. That's the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. And so, in other words, it's a lot more humid out there. Heat index right now, it feels like 82 degrees at Castroville, 79 Pleasanton, and 80 at Canyon Lake. And we, with the still the leftover moisture in the ground from the rain a couple of days ago, that's going to keep humidity levels a little bit higher the next couple of days until the ground finally dries out again. So, yes, we will be dealing with some heat index in the afternoons. Mold really shot up yesterday, almost 6,500, almost double approximately from the previous day's reading. Like I said, 98 for a high temperature today. One or two of those showers out there. There were a couple of them yesterday. We'll have a couple of them today, tomorrow, and after that, pretty much that's it. Early Sunday morning, but otherwise, yeah, it is just going to be hotter than a firecracker for the 4th and looks like the first week of July. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, still got those problems out there, Stephen?
Yeah, we do, Mike, but we also have another problem that we're going to get to that TransGuide is not showing us. 35 at FM 306. Let's get a wide look and give you that look around town because thankfully nothing major to talk about. Of course, we still have that road work taking place, pavement work taking place over off 35 north of New Braunfels. That's really been leading to some slowdowns, but while things look fine here in town, the issues are going to be elsewhere. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're seeing over here. Heads up for our friends in Luling. We do have a pretty serious closure out there due to a crash. Those westbound lanes of I-10 are leading to a full closure near 183. Now, here's the thing. TxDOT is suggesting to use exit 632. That's a Luling and Lockhart exit. I would suggest doing the same thing at this hour. We are already starting to see that buildup of folks trying to get on there. But again, this is out for our friends in Luling. Want to give you guys a heads up if you are traveling in the area or maybe traveling through the area a little bit later on. So we are seeing that closure out there. Still seeing some issues also off of 35 southbound where we see that pavement work continuing to take place from FM 306 to Guadalupe River. Again, 3 lanes still closed, but hopefully those crews will be wrapping up there pretty soon. I'm checking the corner of my eye at TransGuide. Looks like that may be the case. But if your travels are going to take you right here into San Antonio, we're really not seeing any delays just yet. A 29-minute drive time if you are traveling in from I-10 westbound in Seguin. About half an hour, a little more than that on 87 northbound and 27 minutes heading up from Floresville. Not concerned about that, but hopefully we'll have a better update on those road work that taking place at 35, but we'll have to just wait and see and give you those updates a little bit later on, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. The July 4th holiday weekend is finally here. If you plan to travel, you'll want to be in the know before you go.
Amy Kiley reports on what to expect.
If you're traveling this holiday weekend, here's some good news. And some bad news. AAA reports gas prices have ticked down in the last week, and you might not see as much traffic.
These road trippers this holiday season are going to be making shorter trips. 3/4 of our survey respondents said that high gas prices are having an impact. They're also thinking bringing friends along to help cover the cost of gas.
The bad news is if you're flying, you might have to deal with flight cancellations.
There are absolutely going to be flight cancellations this weekend.
Some airlines say staffing issues are part of the problem. Off-duty Delta pilots have been picketing at airports across the country.
We don't have enough pilots, and the company is scheduling more flights than they can fly.
A union representing the pilots says they're on track to work more overtime this year than in 2018 and 2019 combined. Delta isn't the only airline cutting flights, and it says it's working on the problem. Passengers are caught in the middle.
If they're happy, we're happy as clients of Delta, so I think they should just get it together and work out whatever they need.
The best advice I can give is if you can fly a couple days early, absolutely do it. It might even be worth paying a few extra dollars to fly direct.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Wall Street's on a trend it does not want to be on. The stock market marked the halfway point of the year, and it's officially off to the worst start since 1970. Stocks sank across all three indices yesterday after a key inflation report showed prices continued to rise last month. The Nasdaq also ended its worst quarter since 2008, lost nearly 150 points yesterday. The Dow closed down more than 250 points.
Uber reporting that more than 100 rapes were reported to its platform in 2020. Just yesterday, the ride-hail company released its 78-page safety report covering complaints made in 2019 and 2020. Uber said it received over 3,800 reports of sexual assault, including 141 rape allegations in 2020 alone. 43% of the riders were accused of the riders were accused in that assault. Uber also noted that nearly all of the rape victims were riders. They also said women made up the majority of the victims, but the reports from male victims nearly doubled the amount recorded in its 2019 report.
Something has crash landed on the moon, but NASA says it did not send it there. The space agency released this photo of the moon's surface highlighting a double crater. According to NASA, a mysterious rocket body created two large connected divots when it crashed on the moon. Astronomers discovered the object heading toward a lunar collision late last year. They do not know where the rocket body came from, but they say it is the first one to create a double crater on impact. The agency believes the images may eventually lead to astronomers learning more about this strange object.
Time now 5:37 and 77 degrees for now.
Well, still ahead, you'll need the force in your wallet to try a pricey new drink found on Disney cruises. We'll explain.
Also up next, some important information you need to know before setting off those fireworks this weekend.
Outside with a live cam. Yep, already a new month today, July 1st. Glad you're with us on this Friday. We'll be right back. And we're back at 5:40. 4th of July holiday means many families are planning big celebrations.
And whether you're hosting a cookout or watching a firework display, it's important to make sure your Independence Day stays safe. CNN's Jen Sullivan shares how to enjoy fireworks safely.
It's an iconic sight on July 4th. Bright, sparkling fireworks filling the sky. But while these majestic booms are captivating to watch, it's important to remember they come with a risk.
Respect them. They're explosives. They're dangerous.
Alex Hohensark is the chair of the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. He says the July 4th holiday is one of the most dangerous times of the year, with around 11,500 emergency room visits last year from fireworks-related injuries. Everything from burns, concussions, even death.
We really see most of our injuries around this time.
If you're going to set off your own fireworks, officials recommend the following tips. First, make sure it's legal to set them off in your area. Light fireworks one at a time. Keep them away from any body parts or others. Don't try to relight a faulty firework. And keep water handy to put out any flames. And don't ever handle fireworks while impaired. But it's not just fireworks that can cause injuries. Sparklers can be just as dangerous.
Sparklers burn at 2,000 degrees, so it's like having a blowtorch in your hand.
Experts say to always monitor your children and never let them handle fireworks. And if you do happen to get a serious burn, seek medical attention immediately. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jen Sullivan.
You know what I just found online I didn't know existed? You know, there's a million different kinds of Oreos. There's a firework Oreo, and it says it's got popping candy on the inside. So I don't know if it's like
Pop Rocks?
Oh, that's what I'm not sure. We may have to try them.
We're going to have to try this
Firework Oreos. I found them on Target, their app. 5:42, 76 degrees.
And up next, we're going to tell you about that special Star Wars drink featured on Disney cruises that will cost you $5,000.
That's not a typo, is it?
I don't think so. Welcome back. It's 5:45 in your morning consumer headlines. Fireworks aren't the only thing exploding this 4th of July weekend. The price to put on your own show is also blowing up. The shortage we've seen over the past 2 years appears to be winding down, but supply chain issues remain. Costs for shipping, raw materials, and labor have also helped conspire to push prices up. Higher demand has also been a factor as consumers turn to at-home fireworks displays the last 2 years due to the cancellation of public displays. The CEO of one fireworks distributor estimates his costs have at least doubled since 2019. The American Pyrotechnics Association says costs are 35% higher industry-wide. The upside this year, retailers and distributors say they are more ready to match demand.
Spirit Airlines' future is still very much up in the air. A meeting in which shareholders were scheduled to vote on an acquisition proposal from the Frontier Group has been postponed. According to the New York Times, the discount airline had originally planned to merge with Frontier, but that's when JetBlue threw its wallet into the ring and made an offer. The matter will remain on ice through July 8th, when talks between both JetBlue and Frontier will continue.
And guests aboard Disney's newest cruise ship need more than the Force to get their hands on a new Star Wars-themed cocktail. They'll need a lot of Republic credits or just some cold hard cash. So this is an artist rendering of the new Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge aboard the Disney Wish. According to several reports, the lounge features the most expensive drink in the galaxy. It's a cocktail called the Kyber Crystal, and it costs $5,000. You could almost buy your own ship for that, and it reportedly comes in a case that automatically opens to reveal the glowing cocktail with smoke flowing out. The company has not shared what's in the drink that makes it so expensive. According to Star Wars folklore, Kyber Crystal is a very rare and ancient gem that's attuned to the Force, and it's what powers the lightsabers.
$5,000 cocktail.
I'm sure it looks cool.
Our producer Hardy is a big, huge Star Wars fan. Would you ever pay that much, Hardy, for that kind of drink?
What do you say?
Of course not.
No.
He's like, I'd have to pay for the cruise first and get the kids on board.
And then get the
and
drink.
Everybody, yeah. Plus, you probably want to take your wife too, Hardy. That's probably a smart play.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. 547, 76 degrees.
Stephen Cavazos, would you try this?
A Kyber crystal? Those are in lightsabers?
Kyber crystals.
Oh, Kyber.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'd probably be a Sith Lord. I feel like that's like totally my vibe.
Really?
Yeah. Definitely. But no, I wouldn't try it at all. But let's go ahead and just talk about what we're seeing here on Earth. 35 at Harry Wurzbach, because we bring you in here with the TransGuide camera, if we can show that wider view. We really aren't seeing a whole lot of issues out there, thankfully. It's just been a quiet morning, but we do have a few isolated problems outside of the Alamo City. Still finding that closure there off 35, but the big issue, I really just want to bring it up for our friends in Luling, that crash that's led to a massive closure there. Those westbound lanes near US 183 are going to be closed. Now, unfortunately, TransGuide's not able to get us a shot there. I'll call them a little bit later to see if one of those cameras can move around, but right now, not getting a good image out there. UZ exit 632, that's a Luling and Lockhart exit. I would recommend doing the same thing, but keep in mind, more folks are getting out there, so we are seeing a little bit of a buildup. And still seeing a buildup as we take over here to 35 southbound at FM 306 to Guadalupe River, where that pavement work continues to take place. Hopefully, those crews will be wrapping up, but always keep in mind, State Highway 151 westbound over the west side of San Antonio, barrier removal continues to take place, but should be wrapping up on Monday. That's the 4th of July. 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon is when we can expect that single westbound main lane closure from West Military Drive to to Ingram Road. So again, barrier removal still taking place throughout the weekend, but back here on TransGuide, things are moving just fine, but we'll have to call them a little bit later to find out if we can get any shot of that crash up in Luling. Doesn't look too good right now.
All right, Mike, thank you. Brother Stephen, Mike is here now.
Yes.
And has a picture that could easily be captioned, "Summertime Memories in the Making."
Yeah, that's really
Picture probably makes you a little bit jealous, being the fisherman.
It does.
Yeah, look, and that lake is just glass. What a great shot. Isn't that just peaceful and tranquil out there? I'd love to do that. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, we've got, as you can see, a few clouds off in the distance, a little bit of clearing mixed in as well as the sun is thinking about coming up. Yeah, the month of June, it is going down in the record books as one of the hottest ever. The hottest day was 105. Every single day except for last Tuesday was above its respective normal average high temperature. We had a bunch of records that were set, about 17 days. We hit triple digits, and we're going to continue to rack up triple digits going into next week. We'll drop down to 75 this morning. A couple of clouds hanging around here, and then we'll see a lot more sunshine, already up to 90 at noon, and then add almost 10 to that. In some areas, you will be adding 10 degrees, but 98 out there at the airport, just like yesterday. And that small chance for, again, stray shower, thunderstorm to pop up. We had a couple of them yesterday. We'll have a couple of them today as well as tomorrow. Heat index readings, we're going to be into the low hundreds, 105 Eagle Pass, 106 in Cotulla later on today. Still have some leftover moisture in the ground from the rain that we had, so that's what's adding to some of those heat index readings, but it shouldn't be. We should have lower humidity in the afternoons as we go into next week, just as the ground continues to dry out. Here's the computer model, and a lot more clouds, a lot more rain off to the east of us, and again, later on this afternoon, consider yourself fortunate if you do get one or two more of those showers or even a thunderstorm popping up around the area. And most of those will last just into the evening hours, then sort of die down. And then tomorrow, about the same situation. We'll have just a couple of them kind of popping up around the area. Now, one thing, there's a little bit of a disturbance that's coming in off the mountains of Mexico late tomorrow night, early Sunday morning. So there could actually be a couple of more leftover showers off there to the west by early Sunday morning. Here's the overall picture, and we were hoping for that low to come in a little closer to us. Obviously it didn't. It's going to continue to fizzle on out. The high takes over, and that thing is just going to continue to just sort of bear down. The actual center of the high sort of comes in here now from the east, but doesn't really matter because it almost sits right on top of us, and that puts the dome on things, pushes down in the atmosphere, helps to heat things up, and this is going to be the situation all into next week. And this is if you think you're having deja vu, it's the same picture almost that we had last month as far as that high sitting on top of us, keeping things really hot. The only little bit of salvation would be perhaps getting somewhat of a northwesterly flow around here by next weekend, perhaps, to give us a slight chance for shower, but that's just strictly wishful thinking right now. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. High temperature makes it up to 98. Stray shower, thunderstorm or two. We'll have the same situation tomorrow, maybe a couple of extra clouds tomorrow, so shave off a degree or two with the high temperature. Still, it's going to be hot out there. Kind of on the heels of June. All of those numbers, of course, are above the normal high, which right now is 94 degrees. And we're going to start racking up triple digits starting on the 4th.
Ouch.
Good, well put.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mike.
5:52, 76 degrees.
And new video games featuring Super Mario, Pac-Man, and Sonic the Hedgehog are heading to the Nintendo Switch. We're going to have a preview next.
Quick.
New games from Nintendo's publishing partners feature familiar faces, starting with Pac-Man World Repack. Gamers get to gobble ghosts August 26th.
Bring the magic back to Dreamlight Valley.
A new Disney adventure arrives on the Switch in Disney Dreamlight Valley. The life simulation adventure, set in a world inhabited by Disney and Pixar characters, launches September 6th.
Mario and the Rabbids blast off for a galactic adventure in
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope reunites Super Mario with the Raving Rabbids in a turn-based battle adventure hitting the Switch on October 26th. The Speedy Blue Hedgehog is back in Sonic Frontiers, featuring familiar Sonic gameplay elements in a franchise-first open-world setting. Gamers can grab the golden rings this holiday season.
I finally found the secret of Monkey Island.
After more than a decade, a fan-favorite franchise gets a new release in the piratical adventure Return to Monkey Island, setting sail on the Switch later this year. The latest Minecraft spin-off is a chip off the old block as the action strategy-based Minecraft Legends smashes its way onto the Switch in 2023. Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, Governor Greg Abbott has ordered the DPS to operate their own checkpoints. What he wants law enforcement to now focus on during inspections in the wake of the smuggling tragedy here in San Antonio. Now's the time to enjoy the great outdoors at Texas State Parks. Find out what Texas Parks and Wildlife wants you to know before you go. And a collision on Loop 410 on the southeast side sends two vehicles flying off the highway, killing one of the drivers. Jonathan Cotto will join us live with more details after the break. And checking TransGuide right now, flashing lights 35 at FM 306 just north of New Braunfels. This is affecting the southbound lanes. Steven's been tracking it all morning, and we'll have an update coming up in just a matter of minutes right here on GMSA. It's a Friday morning. Glad you're with us.
He charges that he sexually assaulted a horse.
One man is dead following a crash on the city's southeast side. Coming up on GMSA, we'll tell you what we know.
The Supreme Court's historic term is now over. Big changes on the High Court. We have a recap of their significant decisions and a look ahead to what's next in the fall.
And we finished the month of June in the high 90s, and we're going to start hot in July. We'll be checking in with Mike very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
We're waking up to a new month. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, July 1st.
Happy Friday. Happy July. Thanks for joining us this morning, and prepare for that heat.
That's right. Holiday weekend finally here. Independence Day coming up on Monday. Mike Osterage is here with some predictably hot temperatures here in South Texas.
Yeah, new month, basically same weather. You know, we finished up the month of July, one of the hottest going on in the record books, and finished up the month of June, pardon me, one of the hottest, and July is starting off very hot. Yesterday, 98 degrees. We're going to be up there again today. As you can see, we do have some clouds hanging around here this morning, and then we'll see more sunshine later on today. Heat index right now, yeah, there's still some humidity and a lot of the leftover moisture from the rain a couple of days ago. 82 is what it feels like in Castroville, 80 at Canyon Lake, 75 there over at Randolph's, and 77 is what it feels like at Port SA. And as far as the allergens, mold really went up. You know, went up past couple of days, but almost doubled the previous day's reading. Of course, the updated count's going to be coming out in about an hour and a half or so, but nearly 6,500 on the mold scale, and temperatures may drop down another couple of degrees. We'll still keep some clouds around this morning, and then more sunshine later on today. And temperatures obviously are going to be heating up quickly. We will make it up to 90 today at noon. Like I said, just like yesterday, up to 98 degrees. A stray shower, stray thunderstorm or two. There were one or two of them out in portions of the hill country yesterday. That's going to be the case again today, as well as tomorrow. Still upper 90s around much of the area. And then, yeah, the broiler gets cranked up as we head in toward the 4th of July. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavasso, still got a lot of problems out there.
Yeah,
Right?
and we got our hands full for a Friday, Mike. I-10 at Hackberry saw some flashing lights on our camera wall. Let's go ahead and get a wider look and give you a view. Really can't make out exactly what we're seeing. I think this could be a stall that was reported a little bit earlier in the morning, and hopefully that driver is getting the help from a TxDOT Hero truck. But you can see we're already starting to see a lot more folks out there on the roadway, and there are plenty of problems to talk about. But thankfully, a lot of that not here in town. What we're seeing that is outside of the Alamo City. We talked about this. I got off the phone with our friends at TransGuide. Unfortunately, we're not able to get a view of that area, but we know that it's on I-10 westbound, US 183. Major closure there due to a spill or crash. Keep in mind, use exit 632. That's the Luling and Lockhart exit. It's still very early on, so we're not seeing such an impact with the commute at this point. But as morning does roll on and we still see that closure, we're probably going to start to see some major slowdown. So something to watch as the morning does progress. But still seeing a little bit of a slowdown over here off of 35 southbound at FM 306, where there is some road work, pavement work taking place at FM 306 to Guadalupe River. 3 lanes still closed off, but hopefully those crews will be wrapping up. According to TxDOT, that was an overnight construction that, again, is leading to some big slowdowns. We aren't really seeing so much of a slowdown here with the travel times. Thankfully, just about green across the board. Things are looking normal at this point. But back here, we'll find out what this is, and we'll continue to watch the roads closely. But as always, you make sure you do the same. Guys?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, one person is dead following a crash on the city's southeast side.
Jonathan Cotto joins us live. Jonathan, what do we know about this so far this morning?
Mark, well, we are learning that this crash, this unfortunate situation, is involving 2 people. One of the drivers making it out okay, while the other, unfortunately, is not alive this morning. Let's take a look at what that scene looked like. We know this crash happened around or close to 10:30 last night on Southeast Loop 410 and New Sulphur Springs Road. Now, police tell us 2 vehicles clipped each other, sending both of them off the highway. Those vehicles involved a car and a SUV. That SUV rolling down the hill. Firefighters attempted to rescue the driver and were able to pull him out, but unfortunately, he was pronounced dead by EMS on the scene. Our traffic investigation is working this case and is under investigation. We'll update you as more information is made available. We are told that no charges are pending as of right now. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, thank you. Also this morning, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has identified a man killed earlier this week after being shot over on the west side. He's 30-year-old Fabricio Rivera. Police say Rivera was shot near South Brazos Street in Guadalupe just before 8 o'clock Monday morning. Officers are still investigating, trying to determine exactly what led up to the shooting and who pulled the trigger. They say they found several shell casings in the area. His death has been ruled a homicide.
This morning, police are asking for your help locating a 14-year-old girl. So take a look at your screen. Authorities say that Alexis Rivas Aparicio has a medical condition that requires a doctor's care. She was last seen last Wednesday in the 61,000 block of Whitby Road near Huebner Road in the medical center area. Now, Alexis is 5'3", about 120 pounds, with shoulder-length black hair and has a piercing in her lower lip. She was seen wearing blue jean cutoff shorts with a red top and red champion slides. If you have seen her or you know where she is, you are asked to call the police department's missing persons unit at 210-207-7660.
It was standing room only inside San Fernando Cathedral last night for those mourning the 53 lives lost in that enclosed big rig trailer earlier this week. Those in attendance say they were heartbroken by the news and that each person in the truck deserves to be remembered. Some prayed for reform, including Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra, who called on local leaders to take action.
Include our leaders of our states and country to work for a comprehensive immigration reform. That in over 40 years, nothing substantial has been done. It is urgent. And we pray that in God's mercy something will happen.
The Archbishop says he has not seen any immigration reform since he became a faith leader in 1980.
And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has ordered DPS to now operate their own checkpoints further inland. This as U.S. officials say the 18-wheeler involved in Monday's migrant tragedy went through a checkpoint about 26 miles northeast of Laredo. It's still unclear if the driver was questioned. DPS said they would place efforts to focus on cloned IDs, but how that would work remains uncertain. DPS said it would partially depend on staffing. And back in April, Abbott ordered DPS to inspect tractor trailers coming from Mexico. It led to gridlock on the border, and those inspections focused on things like headlamps and engines. Those DPS inspections did not turn up any migrants or drugs, but troopers were not allowed to look in the cargo holds.
Now to the latest out of Uvalde. Councilman Pete Arredondo did not show up to yesterday's meeting.
If he misses the next meeting, he could be voted out. His response as the police chief for the school district has drawn scrutiny, and the council members that did show up faced questions from the victims' family members, many frustrated with the lack of information since this investigation began more than a month ago. The city council and Mayor Don McLaughlin insist they cannot release information because it would interfere with the investigation. Anne-Marie Jo Garza is one of the 21 people killed that day. Her father expressed his emotion as he faced city council.
What if it was your kid? You what? You can't say nothing.
I can't.
Nobody
You're right.
can.
You're right. I
We
can't.
understand that. So do your part for us.
The building where the shooting took place is still part of the investigation. The district plans to demolish Robb Elementary, but it's still waiting on a demolition permit. Uvalde CISD confirmed the new school would be in a different location. However, it is still looking while it raises money for that building. And this week, the U.S. Supreme Court's historic term comes to an end, but not before the justices handed down two more significant decisions on immigration and climate change.
They also said goodbye to one justice and welcomed its newest member to the bench. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with more on the controversial opinions this term and what lies ahead for the High Court this fall.
A beaming Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson taking the mantle from her retiring mentor, Justice Stephen Breyer, becoming the first Black woman on the nation's highest court.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear.
The historic moment capping a divisive and consequential term for the Supreme Court after the conservative majority handed gun control advocates a stunning defeat by expanding the right to carry a firearm in public and then overturning federal abortion rights.
I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that.
Right now, congressional Democrats do not have the support to suspend the 60-vote requirement to make that happen. As outrage grows over the court's decision, 2 more controversial rulings Thursday. The justices rubber-stamping the Biden administration's move to end the Trump-era border policy, which forced asylum seekers at the southern border to wait in Mexico while their cases are pending. But the court also dealing a major blow to the Biden administration before wrapping up its term. The majority cutting the EPA's ability to aggressively fight climate change and deferring to Congress to define the agency's authority to regulate emissions from power plants.
The decision does constrain what we do, but let me be clear, it doesn't take us out of the game. We still will be able to regulate climate pollution.
Amid the fallout this morning, concern about what the court's decision to take up a redistricting case this fall could mean for elections in this country. A ruling in favor of the plaintiffs could give Republican-controlled legislatures the power to rewrite laws to decide which political candidate gets the most electoral votes in their state. And the court's opinion in that case would come just before the next presidential election and even allow state legislators to pick their own electors, which some Trump allies tried to do after he lost the 2020 election. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
611, 76 degrees.
Straight ahead, mortgage rates are down. So is now a good time for would-be homebuyers to make an offer? We're going to have an answer coming up.
Google says it has a major update to its password manager. The details are ahead in your Morning Tech Bites.
And we are starting humid on this July 1st, but it looks pretty beautiful out there for now. We are at 6:11. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's about 6:15 in consumer news. Inflation is running dangerously high. That's according to a key measure tracked by the Federal Reserve. Prices jumped 6.3% in May from the year before. That's unchanged from April. Commerce Department also reports consumer spending gained only 0.2% from April to May. As a result, U.S. households are starting to tighten their purse strings amid higher prices.
Mortgage rates are down after 3 weeks of gains. However, it's still a bad time for would-be home buyers. Rates remain near record highs, not seen in years. The average 30-year fixed rate loan fell to 5.7%. That is down from last week, but it is still higher than the start of the year. However, demand for homes continues to exceed inventory.
USA Today reports their concerns that Europe's mustard shortage could come to America's grocery store shelves for the July 4th holiday. Drought, the major cause of the shortage, and to a lesser degree, the Russian war in Ukraine. It's because Russia and Ukraine are among the top global exporters of mustard seeds. There's already a noticeable mustard shortage in France, and the UK is expected to be next. Meanwhile, the owners of French's Mustard and Grey Poupon say they do not expect a shortage of product here in the U.S. since they are using alternate suppliers.
And we still see flashing lights out there at FM 306 and I-35. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Thanks. Looks like it's actually dwindling down a little bit in terms of traffic, but keep this in mind. Those crews are going to have to pick up those barrels along the interstate there, so you want to make sure that you give them some room if you have to travel through I-35 southbound. We are seeing a few more folks out on the roadway, but thankfully it looks like some of the slowdowns we spotted earlier are improving slightly, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But for now, we have to start with what we're seeing here in town. Loop 410 northbound at Rittiman Road, our first crash reported here in the Alamo City. This is not causing any issues. I'll call our friends at TransGuide a little bit later to see if we can get a shot of the area and show you the conditions. But thankfully, right now, it's not causing any issues in the northbound lanes. But of course, we hope everyone is all right. Now, let's go ahead and take you back up here to 35, where we do have that pavement work still taking place. It started overnight, but should be wrapping up sometime this morning. It looks like they may be experiencing some sort of delays, but keep this in mind. This is at FM 306 to Guadalupe River. 3 lanes, as you just saw on that TransGuide camera, it's still closed off at this time. We'll watch it closely, but this is likely going to impact your drive time. Something that's definitely impacting the drive time is over here, this closure off of I-10 westbound at US 183. We know that there's a big incident taking place at this time that's led to that massive closure there. Keep in mind, use exit 632. That's a Luling and Lockhart exit at this point, but we are already starting to see a little bit of a buildup that is taking place right there on our map. So this is something we'll have to watch closely. But let's just take it back to TransGuide one more time here, and you can see not much has changed. It's been a pretty busy morning, I'd say.
Yes, it has for a Friday.
Someone get me a coffee.
You need one.
Chop, chop.
Or, yeah, or matcha at this point.
Okay.
Yes, matcha.
At least a busy Friday leads into a nice long weekend.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
true. That's true, Mike.
So that's on the plus side. So temperatures right now, we are at 76 degrees. The normal average low temperature is 74. So in the ballpark. There is plenty of humidity out there, though, and Del Rio is at 82 as of right now. That top number, dew points at 72. So that means there, like I said, is some extra humidity and pretty good visibility right now. But we do have plenty of clouds, as you can see in that picture, but not in this picture. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one taken out there by Woodlawn Lake, and just fantastic. Once again, like the last one we showed last half hour, the lake is just clear and smooth as glass out there. And I love all the pictures that people take out there by Woodlawn Lake, where you can get a million different vistas and views depending on which way you look. I mean, you wouldn't even guess sometimes that that's kind of in the middle of a big city. But thank you very much for that KSAT Connect picture. All right, temperatures are going to be dropping down maybe another couple of degrees or another degree or so when it's all said and done. And then we get up into the 80s already at 9 o'clock. We'll have some more sunshine mixed on in here, and that's going to get us up to 90 already at noon. And then we top off like yesterday at 98 degrees. Which is 4 above normal. And there's that 20% chance for a stray shower or two. There were a couple of them that popped up yesterday, especially off to the west, and we'll see 1 or 2 of them around here today as well. Same thing tomorrow, but no really great rain chances. And pretty much after tomorrow, maybe leftover early Sunday, that's it. So here's the computer model going through early afternoon. Then by mid-afternoon, we start to see a couple of those popping up here and there into the late afternoon, as well as dinner time and the early evening hours. Just again, a couple of them here and there, a couple of claps of thunder perhaps, and then we'll do it again tomorrow by the early afternoon hours. A couple of those showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up around here. We're also keeping an eye on a disturbance coming in here off the mountains of Mexico late tomorrow night, early on Sunday morning, and in the wee hours of Sunday morning, there may be a little bit of some of those leftover showers well off there to the west of us. But the low off to the east, that's the one that came on in here, and we've been watching in the Gulf of Mexico, and at one point it kind of looked like it might get a little closer to us, but it is not, and that's keeping all the rain well off there to the east of us, and that high is pretty much taking over, and then it's going to sort of the center of it shift positions a little bit more. The high starts to build into the east, and this is just going to sit on top of us. Familiar situation to what we had back throughout a good chunk of the month of June, with that thing right on top of us. That pushes down in the atmosphere. That keeps things just really hot around here, and it's not going to be changing even going into next week. The only hope would be if it scoots off to the west a little more, would get us into a northwesterly flow, and sometimes you get disturbances sort of riding down on that northwesterly flow. But again, that's, as I've been saying all morning, that's wishful thinking right now for going in toward next weekend. This weekend, we'll start off with partly cloudy skies at noon and get up to 98 for a high temperature. 1 or 2 of those showers or storms. Same thing tomorrow. A few extra clouds around tomorrow, may shave off a degree or 2 as far as high temperatures are concerned. And then take that knob on the broiler and go up to 11, as they would say in Spinal Tap, instead of a 10. So we're going to be up there right around 99 on Sunday and 100 July 4th and next week.
Here's the trouble, Mike. Somebody left the oven on.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is even hotter than what is the, a lot of people say, well, it's summer. Well, but again, we're 5-6 degrees above normal. The hottest time of the year doesn't come until the first couple of weeks of August, and that normal high is 97.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
Hot year. I mean, sometimes we have cool years, sometimes we have hot years.
This is a hot one.
This happens to be one of the hot ones.
Yes,
I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for another break sometime.
Maybe a cooler fall. Wink, wink. 6:22 right now on your Friday morning.
And consumers now have another internet service provider to choose from when driving. We're going to tell you the name of the company who just received FCC approval.
With thyroid eye disease, my whole world became about my eyes. I hid my bulging eyes, and double vision made things look like this. But then my doctor recommended Tepezza, a prescription medicine that treats thyroid eye disease. With my symptoms under control, things are really opening up.
In a clinical study, nearly 7 out of 10 patients taking Tepezza saw improvements in double vision, and more than 8 out of 10 patients had less eye bulging. Tepezza is an infused medicine. Patients taking Tepezza may experience infusion reactions. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as high blood pressure, fast heartbeat, shortness of breath, or muscle pain. Before receiving Tepezza, tell your doctor if you have diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD, or are pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Tepezza may raise your blood sugar even if you do not have diabetes and may worsen IBD such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis.
My world is more than just my eyes.
Ask your doctor about Tepezza and visit mytepezza.com to see Jeannie's before and after photos.
In today's Tech Bites, an important step for Spacex. The FCC says the company can provide a Starlink internet service to moving vehicles. The move paves the way for a new set of users. To get the service, customers will have to buy a ground-based antenna or user terminals.
Google is out with a major update to its password manager. It includes a single password setting page for its Chrome browser, allowing users to sync and save passwords with Android devices. The new feature will also notify users if passwords are weak or if they have been compromised.
And finally, the maker of Pokemon Go is rolling out its own social augmented reality app. Players using Campfire will get to chat, DM friends, and organize raids. Campfire also has a map that includes information about nearby in-game events and activities.
And time now 6:26 and 76 degrees for now.
Still ahead, the clock ticking for Julian Assange if he wants to fight extradition to the United States.
But at the top of the next half hour, why ending the Remain in Mexico policy from the Trump era is easier said than done for the Biden administration.
And we've already had an eventful morning on the roads. Here's an incident at 410 and Starcrest. We'll be talking with Steven coming up right here on GMSA as we approach the bottom of the hour on your Friday morning. It is the Friday before the 4th right now. We've got some clouds out there near San Antonio International Airport. Mike has your holiday weekend forecast coming up. Good morning. It is Friday the 1st.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. A lot of people, planning for an extended weekend, and we also have to plan for the heat.
Plan for the heat. Even though we have the heat, we're still going to go outside this weekend, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, just lots of water, lots of shade, sunscreen, everything else. I love the way you two match, by the way. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
Yes, your tie and her dress. Yeah, these clouds moved on in here, and after some clearer skies earlier this morning, they'll be sticking around fairly stubborn for the next couple of hours, and then we'll see more sunshine later on today. 76, the normal low temperature is 74, so we're in the ballpark, but that number, the dew point, measure of moisture in the atmosphere, did go up even compared to yesterday and the past couple of days. So you walk outside. Yeah, it is more humid out there, and heat index readings feels like 80 at Canyon Lake. It was up to 82 degrees at Castroville. At least it's dropped slightly at 70 is what it feels like. Same thing at Pleasanton, mid 70s in parts of the hill country. Mold really, really high. That's still some of the effects of the rain that we had a couple of days ago. The updated count's going to come out in about, say, an hour, 45 minutes or so. Warm and humid this morning, and then later on today we'll have some more sunshine. One or two, those couple of showers, couple of storms scattered about here and there, and we are going to make it up to 98. So just like yesterday, it is going to be a scorcher. Tomorrow, a few extra clouds, maybe knock a degree or two off the high temperature. And again, one or two of those showers or even a storm hanging around here. And then after that, we are going to be heading back up. Upper 90s again on Sunday and triple digits for the 4th and going into most all of next week. So we finished up the month of June, but July doesn't look like it's much better. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority had your hands full this morning, right?
Yeah, it has been a busy morning on our roadways, and we're going to get to a few of those problems, but want to bring up this issue that we saw here at 410 at Starcrest. You can see an abandoned vehicle there on the access road. That is how TxDOT is reporting this. I believe this is in the eastbound lane, so just make sure you watch out. And if you have travel plans this weekend, make sure you check your vehicles before getting out on the roadway. Make sure everything is working properly. Last place you want to be stranded at is along the highway or in the middle of nowhere. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're seeing, because there are a lot of issues to talk about. Loop 410 here in the northbound lanes at Riddiman Road. We do have our crash here that has been causing no issues, you can see on the map, but it's something we're going to have to watch closely. We know that first responders are out there on the scene. Again, need to give our friends at TransGuide a call to see if we can get a shot there, but it doesn't look like this is causing a whole lot of problems. Big problems, though, as we take a big drive over here to 35, a little bit north of New Braunfels, just a smidge. Pavement work that continues to take take place. We've been seeing this for several hours now. It started last night, I-35 southbound, there at FM 306 to Guadalupe River. Those 3 lanes are blocked off, and we're still seeing the case at this point. So that's why we're really going to start to see a buildup with a lot more folks getting out on the roadway. Another drive over here shows the big issue of the morning, though, at I-10 westbound at US 183 for our friends in Luling. A closure right now because of a possible crash or spill. We're going to have to find more details, and I'm working on that right now. But you can see we're actually seeing a little bit of improvement because some of the roads have opened up again back on our map, but we'll watch that closely. Again, keep in mind, exit 632, that is a Luling and Lockhart exit. But thankfully, elsewhere, as we get a wide look at the map, you know there's a lot to talk about, but we're going to continue to break all of this down for you. No other major issues to report here in the Alamo City, but it does look like a crash may have popped up there along I-37. Lots to talk about this morning, but we're going to have a lot more coming up right here on GMSA. Mark, stuff?
Thank you, Stephen. The Supreme Court handed the Biden administration a win on Thursday, ruling the White House could end the Remain in Mexico policy from the Trump era.
But as CNN's Rafael Romero explains, ending the policy isn't quite so simple.
The ruling means that the Biden administration does have the power to end the policy adopted during the presidency of Donald Trump, known as Remain in Mexico. This is a case that many saw as a test for the White House's ability to set immigration policy. The Supreme Court said 5-4 that immigration law gives the federal government the discretion to end the program, but this is not the end of the story. The Biden administration now needs to go back to the lower court so that there's a final determination as to how this program is terminated. This means that it's going to take some time before Remain in Mexico ends as we know it. Under the unprecedented program launched in 2019, the Department of Homeland Security sent certain non-Mexican citizens who entered the United States without proper documentation back to Mexico instead of detaining them or releasing them into the U.S. While their immigration proceedings played out, critics call the Remain in Mexico policy inhumane and say it exposes asylum seekers with credible claims to dangerous and deplorable conditions. There's another policy regarding immigration that the courts must still consider. It's a public health rule known as Title 42 that allows border officials to turn back migrants detained at the border even before they get the chance to ask for asylum, which is different from how the Remain in Mexico policy works. Rafael Ramos, CNN, Atlanta.
In morning headlines today is the deadline for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to appeal against his pending extradition to the U.S. Assange's extradition was ordered June 17th, triggering a 14-day right to appeal. At the time, WikiLeaks issued a statement calling the decision a, quote, dark day for press freedom and British democracy, end quote. A London court issued a formal extradition order back in April, leaving UK Home Secretary Priti Patel to rubber stamp Assange's transfer to the U.S. after a years-long legal battle.
2 men accused of plotting to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer are getting a new trial. Prosecutors say a federal judge ordered a retrial for Adam Fox and Barry Croft. A date has not yet been set. During their first trial earlier this year, jurors were not able to reach a verdict. Fox and Croft face federal conspiracy charges for planning to kidnap the governor. 2 other men who faced similar charges were acquitted.
Just in time for the holiday weekend, a new warning about sharks along both the east and west coasts on the prowl near some popular beaches.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
This morning, the sharks are here. That's the message from marine officials on Cape Cod. A great white sighting already closing one beach this week.
And if you see a shark, get the hell out of there.
Whether it's the East Coast or the West, shark populations in many locations are on the rise, attracted by the growing population of seals and sea lions. Detections of tagged sharks by receivers in the ocean off Cape Cod rose from about 10,800 in 2013 to more than 169,000 last year. The last fatality in the area in 2018.
It's horrible, and it's part of the reason why we're working so hard here, not only to do the research, but to get the information into the hands of the public.
In California last week, a swimmer in Monterey suffered serious injuries to his leg, arms, and stomach. The shark said to be 20 feet long. And just yesterday in northern Florida, a teenager in 5 feet of water suffering serious injuries. The sheriff saying the girl's family member jumped in the water and beat the shark until the juvenile was free. Experts say sharks spend about half their time in water no deeper than 15 feet. They advise you not to swim beyond the steep drop in the shoreline and avoid swimming near fish fishermen or at dawn or dusk when sharks often feed. Technology could help make beaches safer with tracking apps, drone surveillance, and even these beacons offshore that can spot a tagged shark and signal lifeguards, but they're unreliable.
It gets beat up. So the units worked really well last year up until about August.
As for drones spotting sharks from the air, it's not so easy.
So you can see how tough it can be to visually pick out sharks.
The good news, sharks usually try to avoid people, so the risk remains very low. Scientists are now trying to find more patterns in the way sharks interact with seals to further protect swimmers. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
6:38, 76 degrees.
And summer is the perfect time to explore the state parks, but coming up after the break, we have some tips on how to stay safe on the trails during triple-digit heat.
6:42, welcome back. Sunny days and beautiful landscapes draw hundreds of visitors to Texas state parks every year, especially during the summertime. While the scenery can be breathtaking, so can the heat.
Last year, there were 102 heat-related illnesses in humans and pets that were reported, and that's why the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is offering suggestions on how to stay cool while outdoors in the Texas heat. Of course, the #1 tip: stay hydrated. The agency recommends drinking at least 16 ounces of water every hour while you're in the heat to avoid becoming dehydrated. Next, use sunscreen and don't forget to reapply it every couple of hours, especially after swimming or sweating. And third, dress smart, wear light, loose-fitting clothes so that your skin can breathe, and make sure to wear the correct shoes for the terrain and maybe even a hat. Also, don't forget to bring something to protect your pet's paws from the hot ground.
In addition to support to keep your energy up, Texas Parks and Wildlife suggests snacking on foods like beef jerky and trail mix to replace your body's salt depleted as you sweat. Also, a good idea to use a buddy system. Don't hit the trails by yourself. If the heat becomes unbearable or you get sick, someone is with you who can help. And finally, always plan ahead. Study the map of the trail you are planning to explore. Put a time to avoid hiking in the heat. By the way, avoid hiking during the heat of the day. Take rest breaks in the shade if possible, and let someone know when and where you're going hiking just in case you get lost. And I'll add one more thing. Take a small first aid kit if you can.
Yes, that'd be very handy. And if you happen to be one of the thousands planning to travel for the 4th of July holiday, you will not be alone.
According to AAA's Independence Day forecast, we expect a record number of travelers this weekend to really reach pre-pandemic levels. Despite historically high gas prices, car travel is also expected to set a new record. ABC's Alexis Christoforous has more.
Summer travel is heating up. More Americans are expected to hit the roads and skies this 4th of July weekend than last year, according to a forecast released by AAA.
We're expecting about 48 million people are going to travel this year, and that's about 1 million more than went last year, and we're almost back to pre-pandemic levels.
Andrew Gross of AAA says there is an unexpected twist. More travelers will be driving this year than last year, despite the high cost of filling up at the pump.
We're going to set an all-time record for the number of people traveling by car this year. 42 million people are going to go by car. And we found that very surprising given how high gas prices are.
Gross has some tips for those traveling this weekend. If you're headed to the airport, don't cut it close. Give yourself plenty of time, even if you have pre-check or clear.
Because you're going to have to navigate more traffic on the roads. And then once you get to the airport, there's going to be a lot longer lines because there are staffing issues with the airlines and also with TSA.
If you're driving, get an early start in the morning.
If you start shifting your travel pattern from noon to like 8 o'clock in the evening, travel volume just builds up, particularly around major metropolitan areas, and you're going to find yourself stuck in good old-fashioned traffic jams.
Gross says if you're fortunate enough to have more than one car, drive the more fuel-efficient vehicle. And when you need to stop for gas,
realize that those gas stations that are closest to the highway exits will always be the most expensive. So if you can take that exit and then drive down the road a mile or so to that gas station there, it will tend to be cheaper.
And some advice to all travelers.
We always tell people this every year, pack your patience. And it sounds trite and a cliche, but this time you really got to pack your patience.
Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
So true. And don't forget, a smile goes a long way on trying travel days.
Yeah, that might be a little helpful.
Trust me, you definitely pack your patience time in America.
Yes, and we'll also be packing our patience here in town for now. A lot of problems on the roadways. We're seeing a situation there at I-35 at FM 482.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of jams, not the jams you play in your car, a lot of traffic jams around the area. Let's go ahead and just bring the camera in. 35 at FM 482, a crash reported, and I think it's in the worst possible place because this looks like it could be in the southbound lanes of I-35. We all know 35 serves as a major gateway to the Alamo City for a lot of commuters, so this is not a good place to have an incident. So let's go ahead and just take you right there because that is, again, southbound lanes near FM 2252, an area we're going to watch closely. And as the morning does progress, I'll start looking for those alternative routes for you. But if you have one already, might as well take that route because we are seeing some delays. And as we drive up a little bit further north of New Braunfels, some pavement work still taking place. Seeing some pretty significant slowdowns now at 16 miles per hour from FM 306 to Guadalupe River. 3 lanes still closed off. But as we take another drive over to Luling, we have this major incident taking place that's led to a closure off I-10 westbound, not far from US 183. You can see that lanes have disappeared on our map, which means that, yeah, we're seeing that massive closure. That's going to lead to some pretty big problems out there. For now, traffic is still pretty light, though. Use exit 632. That's a Luling and Lockhart exit. That'll save you a lot of time, but keep in mind, we're already starting to see a little bit of a buildup as folks are making their way out there this morning. Now, as we get the wide look at the map, a whole lot of nothing to talk about, though, elsewhere, but these isolated incidents are causing some big problems out on the roadways. But as always, we're going to watch it closely and give you those updates. Guys.
Thank you, sir. Another easy photo caption, Mike Osterhage.
Yeah, exactly. Like first of all,
one happy puppers.
He's going the wrong way, though. Go in the water. So.
Running along the water
there
line.
You
How
go,
about that?
along the water.
Go out there and swim. Hey, a little bit of history today. It was on this day in 1863. The Battle of Gettysburg began. The 3-day Battle of Gettysburg. And you know, it's been between now and World War II, it's been a longer time span than between World War II and the Civil War.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, just to kind of put that in perspective. So, all right. Smithsonian ship. If Fiona was here, she'd say I'm old enough to be an artifact. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, our director. No, I'm not throwing Fiona. I love her, so I think she likes me too. So anyway, we do have a lot of, Mark's going, yeah, maybe. We do have a lot of clouds hanging around here, and the sun is peeking over the horizon as of right now. A number of 100 days so far this year. Of course, we've had a lot of 98s, 99s, but the actual count is at 22. And of course, going back into, somewhat recent history, 59 back in 2009, that's number 1 on the list, and most recently 41. Now, of course, just because we're at 22 right now does not mean we are going to be getting up into those numbers. I can also win the lottery this year, but, you know, it's kind of wishful thinking. It is not inevitable, but obviously it is going to be a very, very hot summer. So we may be, I know definitely we're going to be chalking more up next week. 76 in town right now, 75 Converse, and low 70s in parts of the hill country. And yeah, there's a lot more humidity out there. I mean, you get these numbers, dew point 74, 75, Pleasanton, Stinson, respectively. That is definitely steam bath kind of when you walk outside, so your glasses are going to be fogging up. We are going to make it up into the 80s later on this morning. We'll still have some of these clouds hanging around here, but once they clear out, we'll warm up very quickly. 87, 11, 90 at noon, and then we're going to continue up from there. 98 degrees, so in your backyard it may be obviously well up to 100, and of course all these readings are in the shadows, so when you are in the shade, when you get out into the direct sun, it feels a lot hotter than that, and that 20% chance for a stray shower or a thunderstorm or two, and that's going to be the situation again today. Like yesterday, just 1 or 2 of them popping up as the afternoon rolls on, and we will have the same situation tomorrow. Perhaps a leftover shower early on Sunday. There's a little bit of a glitch coming in from the mountains of Mexico we're going to have to keep an eye on, but other than that, that's it as far as any rain in the extended forecast. 90 at noon, and again, 98 high temperature today. 1 or 2 of those showers or storms, not really anything of any consequence. And then tomorrow, 1 or 2 extra clouds. Okay, we'll take a degree off. Small steps. 99 then on Sunday, and back to, again, triple digits. So that 22, just keep adding to it. Although, like you said yesterday, Steph, let's not count them until they actually occur. So.
Right. Well, we'll wait till that day comes.
Cross that bridge when we get to it. So.
Thank you, Mike. 6:50, about 76 degrees.
And fighting a form of dementia with food. Tomorrow on GMSA, could the right diet help you reduce your risk of Alzheimer's?
Outside with Live Cam, a Friday morning, quite a few clouds out there. Morning commute has been a bit on the tricky side, even though it's early. Stephen Cavazos has been tracking that. We'll get another update coming up before the end of the newscast.
Coming up right here on GMA, it's the Great American Getaway. About 50 million people will be expected to travel for the July 4th weekend. What to expect from the highways to the airports, and of course, we'll be tag teaming with our local stations about the weather. Plus, it's the big July 4th sales event as well. Why you should proceed with caution when you're shopping and what's really on sale, how you can save big on your holiday cookout. That, plus, you know, our four-legged friends don't necessarily love the fireworks, so how you can keep them safe and calm and protected during the big event. All that's coming up right here on GMA, guys.
Time to check traffic at 6:55.
Yeah, it's still kind of congested out there, Stephen.
Yeah, we're not ending on a good note, unfortunately. 35 at FM 482, another big problem spot we talked about just a few minutes ago. Southbound lanes of 35. Keep in mind, we're already seeing a lot of folks out there. Expect a delay. Right now, 35 southbound FM 2252 is where we have that reported, and you can see that stretch of red. Also keeping track of a crash over here, major crash for our friends in Luling. A closure over here of I-10 westbound at US 183, and pardon me, it's an incident at this point. We are working to get some information. Once that's confirmed, we'll label that. But keep in mind, use exit 632. That's a Luling and Lockhart exit. We'll watch it closely, Mike Osterhage.
Thank you, sir. Lots of clouds hanging around here right now, and it is pretty humid when you step outside. 77 out there at the airport, 76 Stinson and Pleasanton, and Castroville right now is at 79, but some of the heat index readings are well up into the 80s even this morning. 90 at noon, 98 high temperature. Just like yesterday, a couple of showers, couple of storms popping up here or there. Same thing tomorrow. And then after that, it is going to be hot. We're looking at triple digits for the 4th of July.
All right, Stephen, Mike, thank you guys.
Fanning myself already.
I know it's going to be a hot 4th of July. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here at 9.
Be safe this weekend and happy 4th early.